So congratulations again to all of our honorees, and a special thanks to our presenters this evening. I know I am really inspired by everyone's words, and I am certain that you all are too, and I can hear the energy in this room as we're working through the program. When I joined SWHR as president and CEO 4 years ago, my goal was to build on the Society's legacy of leading the charge for advancing women's health research, to leverage our interdisciplinary networks and roundtables to truly make a difference in the health of women, and to provide thought leadership and guidance across the health policy community. And over the course of those 4 years that were exceptionally complicated and difficult and just really hard because of the pandemic, I couldn't be more proud of what we all together have accomplished or more hopeful as we look toward the future. And you've heard this a lot tonight, but this really has been a seminal year for SWHR and for women's health research. And we have all of you, and especially and importantly, our honorees to thank for that. In this year alone, because of your support, we've been able to create science-based content for women in the workplace experiencing the menopause transition. We took our endometriosis working group up to Capitol Hill to advocate for additional federal funding. We built out and are executing a number of policy agendas, including on Alzheimer's disease, bone health, heart health, autoimmune conditions, and obesity, among others. And I've been all over the country talking about the gender research gap. It's interesting because I hear audible gasps in the audience when I talk about this, because they have literally been hearing for the first time that women were not included in clinical research until 1993. And in just the last year, we've been to the New York City Mayor's Mansion, met with the NIH director, the FDA commissioner, the HHS Office of the Secretary, and Society Chair-elect Erica Miller and I were able to go to the White House to witness that historic signing of the executive order for the White House Initiative on Women's Health Research. As we look to the future, I want to be sure to share our newly designed website. This, I know, is not like the most exciting thing maybe to you, but it is to us. Finally. It is better organized. I think it better reflects the Society's mission, vision, goals, and action. And I have to thank Monica Lefton, our Senior Communications Manager, and Lindsay Miltenberger, our Chief Advocacy Officer, for their oversight and guidance and hours and hours and hours of work on this to get this thing moving. So I would love for you all to check it out, not right now, but like when you get home, go look at it. I'm also so glad that you all got to hear directly from Dr. Missouri about the White House Initiative. We'll get to that in just a second. You've heard a lot about the executive order and the White House Initiative, and $100 million and $200 million and $12 billion. And I have to say that I almost fell off of my couch when I was watching the State of the Union and heard that number, $12 billion. We're calling on Congress to invest $12 billion in women's health research. We had hoped maybe for like a mention of this in the State of the Union, but this was quite frankly beyond what we had dreamed. And the initiative and call to action directly from the President of the United States did not happen by accident. It happened because of key advocates like Maria Shriver jumping in, meeting with the First Lady, convincing her that this work needed to be done, with Dr. Clayton being ready to go immediately, with Dr. Missouri stepping in as chair, leading this initiative, and with many, many of you all in this room doing your part. When we heard that number, I immediately started texting and emailing because I was like, I couldn't possibly have heard that right. Billion, it's a big, big number. But we did get confirmation that that was the right number. And at that moment, we decided, and actually I decided, I was like, this is the time. I'm gonna go live on Instagram and I'm gonna celebrate this with our friends. And my staff told me not to say this, but in that moment, I knew my children were going to be so impressed that I was going live on Instagram. And they were not at all impressed. And my daughter and her friend are here tonight and now mortified that I'm telling this story and pointing them out. But really, we were so excited to be able to have this moment and to celebrate. And I think now we know the time for working, for advocating. It continues, it's now. Our contribution to this executive order wouldn't have been possible without our board and staff, who I want to make sure to recognize now. To our board, your support, your guidance, your faith in the society and its mission and our staff is unparalleled. I think we have the best board of directors. Tonight, I want to recognize the folks who weren't able to join us, Dr. Linda Griffith and Dr. Judette Louie and Marianne Slight. I'm also going to now embarrass all of you, and I'm going to ask you all to stand up as I call your name, because really without your support, we would not be here. Greta Stone, our board chair, Erica Miller, our chair-elect, Chantel Dodson, Janelle Krishnamurthy, Patty Compton, Jim Carey, Christine Harhide, Dr. Sham Kadalil, Dr. Kathy Spong, and our founder, the incomparable Dr. Florence Haseltine. Thank you all. I want to also thank the entire SWHR team who keep me and the organization moving and, feet on the ground when I'm thinking up all of these crazy ideas that we should be doing. Jonas Fasai, our science team led by Dr. Arena Ninye with Serene Gumamin and Sarah Chu, Lindsay Miltonberger, our Chief Advocacy Officer, and our fantastic team of fellows and interns, Bria Fitz, Leah Goldberg, and Kathryn Palmer, and my dream team of Julie Miller, Emma Bixler, and Monica Lufton with their headsets tonight. Without them, we would not be having such a wonderful evening. They worked their tails off to get us here. We have so many amazing and great things planned for 2024 and beyond, including support and partnership for a panel at the UN Science Summit this summer. And hopefully if you ran into Dr. Aninya, you have heard a little bit about that, but I'm sure she will tell you more. My challenge to you all in this moment, because I already know that you're here and you support us, is to recruit other allies and other partners in this effort. As I told my fellow members of the National Health Council back in February, you may not think of yourself or your organization as women's health research advocates, but at the end of the day, you are. We all are. Advancing equity in the health of women helps us all. Knowing more about women's health allows us to know more about everyone's health. The Freemasons in 1908 may not have recognized the benefits of gender equity, but as former First Lady Michelle Obama observed, communities and countries and ultimately the world are only as strong as the health of their women. And so now in closing, cue Emma. Now in closing, made possible by Bonafide Health, please raise your champagne glass. Toast to you, our friends, champions, and supporters. Cheers to a wonderful evening, a terrific year ahead. We've got big plans. Thank you all again for everything that you all are doing every day to make women's health mainstream. Hear, hear.